In a previous video called The History of Humanity According to Mythology, I shared with you that the Sumerians described the first race of humans were called the Adamu, as in Adam from the Bible. They relay that these Adamu were described as having the color of dried blood, which shown here can be incredibly dark. I asserted that the first race of humans was therefore black, which falls in line with the out of Africa theory. Indeed. Unfortunately, it goes against most artful works that depict Adam and Eve as being white, so people are not used to hearing this idea, much less that there was a first race of humans called the Adamu. So back to Adam. Well, this video is actually about his firstborn son, Cain, specifically the Mark of Cain. What was the curse? By the way, the Sumerians have a similar story to the story of Cain and Abel, but they are called Emesh and Enten. Here's another interesting side note. Both Cain and Abel were twins. They both had twin sisters. Cain's sister married Abel, and Abel's sister married Cain. That's how they continued. So what about the mark? What would it look like? Zecharia Sitchin relayed his theory that it was facial hairlessness, because only a child could commit murder and live. He also said it was having red hair, to remind him and his line that the first of them committed murder, the murder of Abel. I find both of these theories to be plausible, but I'd like to add two more. If the Adamu were black, if Cain was black, what kind of mark would God, or in the Sumerian version, the gods, give Cain to make sure that he was not killed or to scare the savages away? As it says in Genesis 4:15, "And the Lord said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any find him should kill him." The answer, I believe, is albinism. Cain would have been the first albino. Here's why I think that, but you're free to disagree. The gods were white. If Cain was seen as a god, the savages would have stayed away from him out of fear, while the other marks, the facial hairlessness and the red hair, would also be reminders of what he had done. In other words, I believe Cain was the first white human, with red hair no less. But there is one other thing that could very well be the result of the Mark of Cain. These gods had full knowledge of how DNA works. These curses have been written in the blood, by rewriting DNA. They are called gods for a reason, after all. For example, what about the Rh negative blood type during pregnancy? This problem occurs during a second pregnancy. I'll be quoting here from the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Quote, "Health problems usually do not occur during Rh negative woman's first pregnancy with an Rh positive fetus. This is because her body does not have a chance to develop a lot of antibodies. But if the treatment is not given during the first pregnancy and the woman later becomes pregnant again with an Rh positive fetus, she can make more antibodies. More antibodies put a future fetus at risk. When the blood of an Rh positive fetus gets into the bloodstream of an Rh negative woman, her body will recognize that the Rh positive blood is not hers. Her body will try to destroy it by making anti-Rh antibodies. These antibodies can cross the placenta and attack the fetus's blood cells. This can lead to serious health problems, even death for a fetus or a newborn." End quote. In other words, the heir kills the spare. Does this phenomenon come from Cain's curse? It is not a common occurrence as most people are Rh positive, but it does exist and nobody knows how this came to be. And just how did this curse, well, all the curses of Cain, get passed down? Noah. There are two names I have found for Noah's wife, although perhaps they were two different people. I tend to think so. Nama, which I believe was his first wife, was the descendant of Cain. His second wife's name was Zara. I find it very interesting that when Noah's sons are listed, Japheth is listed last. Yet, he is called Japheth the Elder. Was he born from a different mother? Was Japheth a descendant of the line of Cain? There's no way to actually know. It's all speculation. You're free to believe whatever you choose. I'm just asking questions and pointing things out. After all, Japheth is already known as the progenitor of the Aryan race. Look it up. People actually believe this. Is it true? Who knows? And why would Cain's bloodline need to be preserved? Well, it's because of this. When Eve tells Adam, "I have gotten a man from the Lord." To the religiously inclined, it means that Cain was a child of God. To those of us that know better, it means that he was actually another line of Enki, just like Adam, except more so. Unlike Abel. That's why. By the way, if you're interested in these kinds of stories, I found as many stories as I could find regarding what happened before the biblical flood and fit them together like a puzzle in a book called The Days Before the Flood. It took me 7 years of research to write this book. If you're interested, it's available on blurb.com. You can type in The Days Before the Flood or even my name and it will come up. Hardcover or paperback, and it's illustrated. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.